fundamental basics that if you start to shift it, everything else will shift in your life as well. Some people, by the way, have to have more than enough money to do what they want, when they want, where they want, with whomever they want, contribute the way they want. And if that's their must, they find a way. I know that sounds overly simplistic, but it's true. You know, somebody once said you could take all the money in the world out of the hands of everybody, out of all the wealthy people in the world who are really successful, give it to other people. It wouldn't take too long. Those people would have it back in their hands. It's not because they're manipulative. It's because they have a standard. Some are manipulative, don't get me wrong, but they've got a standard of what they're going to find a way to make happen. I'm just simply saying to you, take those 3 magic words and live them. Raise your standard. And if you really want to do it, then I'll tell you the most important secret. Have you ever done this? Have you ever told yourself you're raising your standard? Okay, I'm going to go make this happen. I'm going to go make this much money. I'm going to transform my kids. I'm going to create the ultimate relationship in my life. I'm going to transform my body, whatever it is. And then you don't have strong enough reasons and you don't use it. You don't follow through. It's because you didn't back up your standards with what makes those standards real, and that's rituals. Rituals are where the power is. Whenever we do our Robbins results coaching, and we say Robbins equals results, the way we get results with people, it's the same way if you listen to my Ultimate Edge program, or back in the old days, Personal Power, or if you went to one of my seminars. You know what I do is I take these huge challenges you got and we break them down into little bite-sized steps. Little things you do each day that after you do them, you get so much momentum that it's easy to succeed. You're not overwhelmed. You have these victory day after day after day on little things. If you went through Ultimate Edge, I'm sure you learned about the hour of power, or the 15 minutes to be able to be fulfilled, or 30 minutes to thrive, where you literally just condition your body and emotion with a couple little rituals. So it doesn't matter what's going on in your world. You feel that strength, and it's not fake. It's not some pump up. It's coming from inside you, and it works. Rituals define us. See, all the results in your life are coming from your rituals. They start with a standard and then have rituals that follow it up. Like, for example, if you are where you want to be physically, you have very different rituals than if you're not where you want to be physically. If you're overweight, you and I both know you got a different ritual than if you're physically fit. Completely different. You get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do if you're fit? Your shoes are there, you roll over, doesn't matter how you feel, you put on your shoes, you lace them, you start walking, or whatever that ritual is. If you're overweight, you roll over and you have a very different ritual. You might roll over several times to turn the alarm clock off. You go in and get your mocha, smocha, whatever, special coffee. You stop by at Starbucks, or whatever the case may be. You have your nice sugar muffin. It's supposed to be really nice for you. Whatever you do, it's a different ritual. If you have a great, passionate relationship, you have very different rituals in how you come home than if you have a lousy relationship. When you come home and the first thing you do is you're tweeting somebody, or you're emailing, or flipping on the news, or you don't even come home. What are the rituals? Whenever I study people that are successful, what I look for is what's the standard they hold themselves to, and then what are all those little rituals that add up? Because think about it. Success and failure are not giant events. They don't just show up. You don't just suddenly become successful or suddenly have this cataclysmic event that makes you fail. It may look that way, but failure comes from all the little things. It's failure to make the call. It's failure to check the books. It's failure to say, I'm sorry. It's failure to push yourself to do things physically that you don't want to do. And all those little failures day after day come together until one day some cataclysmic event happens and you blame that. That event happened because you missed all the little stuff. Do you agree with me? And success, by the way, is not some overnight event. It's all these little things. Success is having a vision. Success is making it compelling. Success is really seeing it and feeling it every day with strong enough reasons. Success is feeling the sense that I'm here to grow and I'm here to give something to the world more than just myself. Success is caring about other people. Success is calling and saying, I love you in the middle of the day for no damn reason. Or sending a note. That'll change your relationship. Have a ritual of something funny, playful, or a surprise you do. How many relationships are dead today because they have no surprise rituals anymore? You need to have some rituals, some cool things you do that nobody else does that gives you a better life than anybody else has. All the little stuff. That's where success comes from. In business, it comes from delivering more than anybody could imagine. All those little things add up. People go, wow, that's who I want to do business with. It's true in any area of your life. So if you look at somebody who's really successful and you think, wow, they're so amazing, they're such a genius, you got to dig underneath and you got to remember something. People are rewarded in public for what they've practiced for years in private. myself and my business people say, how do you get up and speak? And you have no notes, and you go for 3 days and nights, and the room is like, everybody's wired, and it's incredible. It's like a rock concert. How do you do that? How do you have that confidence? Oh, you know, it's not confidence, it's experience now. But I did so much behind the scenes, and I still do, to make things right. I mean, how many people would know that since the time I was 17 years old, before I walk out on stage, still do to this day, wouldn't need to do it, but I still do it, I never walk out there without being in an absolute peak state of mind. You know, there are days my back is hurting, my throat was hurting, or I may have had a challenge, or my father passed away, and I've still got to deliver for these people because my standard is give my all every time. Every event has to be better. Talk to anybody who's been to our events for 5, 10 years, some of our trainers, and I'll say, I don't know how he does it. He always finds a way to make it better. That's not an ego thing. That's a standard in me. I have to find the way. And my ritual, though, is I prepare, I think, I gather new information, I figure out how to put something across better. What do people need? I spend time with our customers. I see what's going on. And before I get on stage each time, I have this little ritual to put myself in a state of mind. And I did it starting like 17 years old. I started doing it. I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind. And I say this out loud several times, this little phrase, set of phrases, as an incantation to kind of condition my mind and body. And I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible today by giving me the strength and the emotion and the humor and the brevity, whatever it takes to show this person and help this person change their life now. And I started that with a person when I worked with people one-on-one, and I would do that for 45 minutes driving in my Volkswagen to go serve and coach somebody for the first time. Now I don't say that person, I say these people, and I can go out in a room of 10,000 people and deliver for 50 hours, and I do it every time I come back on stage. It's a ritual to go into peak state. Peak states don't just show up, they don't interrupt you. Great ideas don't interrupt you, you gotta pursue them. I talked to Michael Jordan, I'll never forget, at the peak of his career, and got to watch his final game, saw him backstage and spent some time with him, and it was a pretty exciting time. He was the greatest basketball player I think that ever lived and has ever lived. And I asked him, I said, you know, what sets you apart, Michael? You know, what is it? And is it God-given talent, ability, skill? What is it? And he said, Tony, you know, he said, I can shoot you straight. And you know, it's not, you know, me trying to act humble. He goes, I have a lot of talent, a lot of God-given talent, a lot of skill. I've worked really hard. But he said, really, it's my standards. He said, every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could humanly expect. I'm not competing with somebody else. I'm competing with what I'm capable of. Magic formula. Because most of us lower our standards. Why? Because who you spend time with, my friends, is who you become. One of the biggest reasons I started going to seminars when I was like 17 is I had nobody around me as a great role model. I could read about somebody, but being around people, being in that environment was very different. Finding a way to go to work with someone who lived that standard of life was very different. You get around people with low standards and you compete with it. You don't need to compete with it. It's like, okay. I mean, remember Jerry Springer? I don't know if he's still in the air, but you know, I remember he used to get people on the show, and I thought, where would he find these people? And why would people watch? I'll tell you why they watch. They watch these people and go, my life's still pretty darn good compared to that person. Look at them. You don't have to change your life. All you have to do is find somebody with a lower standard, and you'll feel good about yourself. But if you feel that good feeling, it's an illusion. The only thing that's going to make you happy, my friend, and this year or any other, is to step up. It's to raise the standard. It's to discover what you're capable of and feel that incredible power of pushing through whatever's holding you back and get to the other side of more of your true self. That's what this game's all about. And look at the best in the world in anything. Tiger Woods, what's his vision? To win golf tournaments? No, to be the best that ever lived. That's his goal. That's his vision. But here's what's interesting. He backs it up with rituals. If you just have a vision and you don't have the rituals, stop lying to yourself. His rituals are, he started doing things nobody did before. He went and started lifting weights. Golfers lifting weights? No way. He went out and he changed his swing when he was the best in the world because he realized in order to be the best that ever lived, he was going to have to change his swing. If you know anything about golf, you don't change your swing when you're the best. And he went and retrained himself because he has different rituals than other golfers. Now many people are modeling his rituals to get better. It's amazing. You know, you look at somebody like Michael Phelps, the 2008 swimmer, won 7, you know, only 2 people, I think, in history, if I remember correctly, that have gotten 7 gold medals in one session. And here's a guy, he's got number 6 under his belt, and he's exhausted, and he's going in for that final swim. I'm sure you remember. And how does the guy win? By 1/100th of a second. Do you think that was some massive skill that got him over the top? Or was it a standard that says, this is who I am? I am the champion. And no one is taking this from me. And somehow in those final milliseconds, hundredth of a second, he pushed himself just beyond his competitor.
My dream was to play, professional football, and I got to achieve that dream. But when I got injured, it was about a 1.5 year recovery where I was in a full arm cast for about 6 months, and then a 1.5 year just recovering from that, sleeping on my sister's couch. And during that time, I really had no clue what I was going to do next with my life. I didn't know what my dreams were anymore because my dreams were over. I didn't have really any skills or value to add to the world, at least I didn't think so. And the thing that got me off the couch was really the support system that I have. I had an incredible family that brought me in and allowed me to be kind of broken and down and out for a while and supported me during that time. But I also had the foresight to reach out to people that were inspiring to me. That support gave me the inspiration and the motivation to start moving forward. So the School of Greatness book covers the 8 principles of greatness on how to take your life to the next level. That could be if you're an athlete in sports, getting to the next level. That could be in relationships. That could be starting a new career, building a business, wanting to support your community, improving your family life. Whatever it is that next level looks like to you, these are the 8 principles on how to make it happen. There's 3 things that hold people back from creating miracles in their life. That's fear of failure is usually the biggest thing. People are afraid to fail, and they don't want to fail. No one wants to feel like they're not enough. The second thing would be the fear of success. What do we do when we do achieve success? The responsibility, the weight, all the things that come with that is scary for a lot of people as well. And then the third thing that I hear a lot of people is really the fear of just looking bad, being away from their inner circle, their friends not accepting them anymore. And so that fear holds people back of failure, success, and looking bad. When we, as humans, do things that fill us up, that make our hearts sing, that give us the most joy, and we're able to make an income to fulfill our basic needs, pay our rent, our bills, support ourselves and our family, we create the most joy for ourselves, and that's a ripple effect around everyone that experiences us. We're happier, we take care of our health, we take care of our emotional health, we are nicer to people when walking down the street, when we feel like we can do what we love and make money around that. So for me, the vision is to create programs, education, content, whatever it may be, but I want the vision to come true.
All right, 11 secrets that millionaires know that everybody else in the world is clueless on. Let me reveal what those are for you. I love books. It's a good book, really good book, good book. All these books about, how to make more money, financial freedom, wealth, and all that. And one of the most common questions I get is like, Ty, what is it? If you had a list, like here, like if I would put down 11 secrets, what would they be? And I've thought through those long and hard. The first time you make $1 million, it causes you to reflect. And you'll go, what the heck happened? Was it luck? I was just reading this book on the founding of Twitter. Was it luck? Is it some people have more access and know the right people? And there's some truth to all of that. But for you and I, if you want to create true wealth, I think there are definite secrets that most people don't know. And it's not secrets in like a conspiracy theory, Illuminati kind of way. It's just not stuff. Think about back at your school, what you learn. You never learn the stuff that you really need to know. So let me try to lay out a few of them. I don't know if I can write all 11 on the board here. I want to make a short video. 1, VRIN. That's a term, V-R-I-N, your VRIN score. This is a huge predictor of your wealth. I mean, without a doubt, these are things, now I dropped out of college, but if you go to Harvard, if you get an MBA, you'll learn about this. Now, most people though in the world, maybe you're like me, I was broke, sleeping on a couch, or you come from, not a very nice place. You born in the, what do they call it? The lower class. I was born to a single mom. Wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And this VRIN score is something that I didn't learn for, till I was in my 20s. But once I knew it, it made all the difference in the world. And so you got to know your VRIN score, which is basically value, rare, inimitability, and non-substitution. Now, I don't know if I'm going to explain all those, but I want to just give you the high level one, and then I'll show you how you can learn all of them if you want to know. Number 2, there's a wealth index. A guy did a very famous study and wrote a book called The Millionaire Next Door, where he studied self-made millionaires across the United States. And his conclusion, or one of his conclusions, was that you can look at people's wealth index. So you basically take your age, all right? It's a factor of your age, your net worth, meaning how much money you have in your bank account and all the things you own minus your debts. And it needs to be at a certain level of the ratio. Okay, so it's not an absolute number. So you can have a high wealth index even if you only make $2,000 a month, even if you only have $500 in the bank account. Wealth index is an index of how well you accumulate. And for example, he talks about in that book that doctors who traditionally, I think the average doctor in America makes like $115,000 a year. So high income, okay, doctors, but doctors are notorious for having a low wealth index score for various reasons. One of them is when you're a doctor, you got to kind of look like you're a doctor, so they have a lot of expenses. So they have their wealth index measures them, the average doctor, to have below average accumulation habits. So you got to accumulate. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. I got a friend who made $120 million last year, okay? And he has a very high wealth index. He kept like $90 million. This is a young guy, like in his 30s, who also self-made, didn't inherit the money, didn't have a trust fund, any of that stuff. So your wealth index, that's 11 secrets millionaires know. Some millionaires don't know it, but the good ones do. Number 3, and I could go a lot of different directions with this one, but stacking, the ability to stack trends. So I call this trend stacking, or stacking the trends. So most people, they go, Ty, I'm gonna do big things, whether they're musicians, entrepreneurs, movie, filmmakers, actors here in Hollywood, like whatever the thing is, they're like, I got a good idea, and there's a trend, and look, this is how I'm gonna make $1 million, how I'm gonna make $1 billion. But it's not as simple as just taking one idea, because one simple trend, let's say you catch a trend like social networks. That's been a trend in the last 5 or 10 years, right? Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. Now you got new ones like Meerkat, and you got Periscope, and all these new, constantly evolving social networks. So for you to just have an idea of a social network, it's not a trend, it's only one trend, and you must stack multiple trends. So there's a way to do this. I don't know if I'll show you how you can do this a little bit later. I'm not gonna do this in this video, but it's powerful, man. And you look at somebody, I'll give you an example. Snapchat. So Snapchat is not just one trend. Evan Spiegel, who's the youngest billionaire in history, okay, the youngest self-made, he made it before he's 23. He did not just go, I'm gonna make a social media app. Like social media apps, that's not trend stacking. He tracked multiple trends. So he took like 4. So one trend was obviously social networking. Another one was apps. The third one was selfies. See, that's a trend. People forgot that selfie, you see selfies made fun of a lot. Kim Kardashian did a selfie book. I actually have it here somewhere, selfie book. And people laugh at that, but I learned from my mentors, and by the way, that's where I learned these secrets. I wasn't born knowing these. My mentors are like, no, don't laugh at these things. You might not agree with everything, but pay attention. So you pay attention, and Evan Spiegel, who's the founder of Snapchat, he paid attention to selfies. Then the 4th trend that he stacked was privacy. See, you don't want to post all your pictures. See, Instagram was a 3-trend stack. But Snapchat took those 3 trends of selfie, social networking apps, and added a 4th one, which was privacy. You could post the picture on Snapchat and boom, 10 seconds later it disappeared. And that created tremendous wealth. By the way, this one secret alone is not a secret of a millionaire. That's a secret of billionaires. We can go to another level if we want to in this talk, but I figured I'd start with millionaires because that feels overwhelming. And even if you don't want to be a millionaire, you still want to learn the principles of millionaires. Even if you only want to be financially free and, make 75 grand a year and just live, have all your bills taken care of and not have that stress, whatever your number is. Now, the fourth one is what I call nudist Buddhist. Okay, I learned this one from Alan Nation. Excuse my horrible handwriting, but that's supposed to say nudist Buddhist. And Alan Nation, one of my mentors, he said, Ty, you can't be too ahead of your time. You can't be perceived as too weird. He said, look, if you have a friend and you pop in and say, hey man, I've decided I'm a nudist. Your friend will be like, you know what, that's a little weird, but you're my friend, I'm gonna give you that. And he said, you can tell your other friends that you're a Buddhist. And they'll be like, I don't know much about Buddhism, a little weird, but I'll still be your friend. But he said, you can't be a nudist Buddhist. It's too weird. And so a lot of people, many people have tried to do a big thing, a new idea, a new business, new patent, a new invention, and they're ahead of their time, or they present it in too weird of a way. The story of Groupon, which is another amazing story of people going rags to riches. The founders, I think it was 3 or 4 of them that started Groupon, they said that people had tried it before them, but it was perceived as too weird. And so Groupon had this, these coupons, you get 90% off, whatever, haircuts and massages and all this stuff. Well, Groupon took it and packaged it up in such a way that a quote unquote weird idea, virtual couponing, it became very mainstream. So they didn't violate the nudist Buddhist rule. So these are 4, there's 11. And each of these I could talk about for a long time. I don't want to bore you with everything right now, but I will tell you, if you're watching this, I get asked about these and the other 7 so much that I decided I was going to just dedicate a talk. So there should be a link here somewhere where you can click above here, and it's a little link and you can register. It's a completely free talk. Don't worry, there's no cost to it. And I'm going to explain each of these more in depth and the other 7. Okay, because I want to keep this video short. How long has this one been? This is like 5 minutes or something. 5 or 10 minutes. So I want to keep this one short because modern world people have, ADD, and maybe you're watching this when you're busy and you got other things to do. So if you click the link, it'll give you a time you can register, and it's online. So you can be in any country in the world. You have access, to the internet. You can watch this. So it's my free talk explaining this, the 11 secrets that millionaires know, revealed, and how you can use them to create wealth and financial freedom. Whether or not you want to be a millionaire, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for people who are, like I was, you're completely in the gutter. It could be you've got no, you're in debt from college debt or credit card debt. I read the average American's like 240,000 in debt if you count mortgages. And so there's debt out there. These secrets work, and I'm telling you, and these aren't random secrets. You see these secrets being used by the smartest people in the world over and over. It's just that, this is the kind of stuff that millionaires teach their kids. But if you're like me and you weren't the son or daughter of a millionaire, you didn't have anyone to teach you this. So I went out, I traveled to, I've been to about 50 plus countries trying to find mentors. I found 5 of them, and they're the ones who taught me all this stuff. So click the link. It's either above or below. I can never tell where it's going to be. Click the link. It'll take you to my website, and there's just a register. It's completely free. And then you'll see the exact time. We'll translate it into your time zone, wherever you are in the world. And then just show up. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your computer. And I'll be going in depth. And I'm telling you, these 2 right here, number 1 and number 3, are so powerful. I could literally just stop there. But the other ones are important too. And when you blend them all together, they call that synergy, an exponential effect. Like one of these you understand, it'll have a good effect on your bottom line, your bank account. 2 of them together, 1 + 1 is more than 2. That's what synergy is, These 2 together will not just double your understanding, they might triple it. And when you add 11 together, it's mind-blowing. And so, this book right here, Self-Made Billionaire Effect, it's one of the most exhaustive and well-done scientific studies of self-made billionaires. And is interesting. Their final conclusion in the book, I don't want to spoil the book if you haven't read it. It's not my book, by the way, but is that they've isolated for luck, for access to resources, to being born in a better place, to being healthier, to what country you're born in, and their conclusion is that it's habits of the mind that made these people billionaire. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger had like habits for his body to become, one of the top bodybuilders in the world, there's habits of the mind, and that's as simple as what you know. Like Warren Buffett says, and I always quote, the more you learn, the more you earn. So click the link here, show up, learn stuff, you will earn more. It's free. And so, yeah, click the link and I will see you. It's on the talk. You can even ask me questions on the talk, if you want to chat. There's chat and stuff, and you can ask while I'm talking. So click the link, register, and we'll be talking about 11 secrets that millionaires know revealed and how you can use them in your life. And it'll change your life the day you watch it. So these things, by the way, forgot to add, last time I did one, the last 2 times I've done these, it has crashed the servers. Literally, I'm not making that up. We had to like change the architecture of our website to handle how many people come. So I kind of limit how many people can get on this. So make sure you don't procrastinate. Click the link. It's free. I tell people, anytime you have a chance for something and it's free, there's no downside. Do it immediately. So check it out. We'll be talking on VRIN, Wealth Index, Accumulation Score, Stacking Multiple Trends, Nudist Buddhist, and lots of other stuff, 7 more things at the minimum. All right, so click the link and I will see you on my talk. We'll be talking all these in depth. All right, cool. Oh, and subscribe to my channel. I'm always supposed to add that. My video guys say to do that. All right, talk to you soon.